DeepSeek introduced a new version of their AI model that shocked the world. What was absolutely amazing is not only the fact that it is comparable to all the well-known US AI models in terms of competence, but it is 1/20th the price, if not even less. And the key to all this that really shocked them in Silicon Valley was it was made open source. Now, all of a sudden, Australian government, Italian government, the US government agencies, some of them have, out of security concerns, forbid the use of this in their agencies or in their countries or even download in their countries. This part, the argument, is really getting ridiculous. It's open source. That means you see the code. You can modify the code. You can change the code. You can improve the code. You can make it more even efficient. How can an open source be constituting a security risk if it's all there bare to see? So obviously, something big is happening that is impacting the Western side, the Western countries. Why did this happen? And how it will impact the further development of science and technology competition between China and the United States. I think this happened because AI has been promoted as the next big thing by Silicon Valley and by Wall Street, to the point where it's billions and tens of billions, if eventually not trillions, will be poured into building it up. President Donald Trump announced a $500 billion infrastructure fund to develop AI infrastructure. Developing AI infrastructure means power supply, new data centers, and so on and so forth. This is all part of the story. The story is it takes massive amount of money to do AI right. And only the US has the money and the technology to do this right. So we'll run AI for the whole world. We meaning the United States. That means come with your money, like SoftBank is supposed to be backing this $500 billion infrastructure fund for the US. And it's interesting because the US is looking at, or the White House is looking at $500 billion to come from the Middle East, from Japan, from Europeans, and so on and so forth. So again, sucking investment funds into the US. You have to have a good story. The end result of DeepSeek's emergence is, number one, sorry, maybe we don't need all those advanced NVIDIA chips. We don't need those really sophisticated programs that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. We may not need 3 nuclear power plants to supply 1 data center. I think that is the most significant aspect of the DeepSeek's emergence, in that it shows that it can be had for everyone. It can be had for the global south as well. The other part that's interesting, this is just only a side note, is that among the top researchers of DeepSeek, they were all educated locally by the top universities in China. This shows that the depth of sophistication of Chinese scientists, engineers, programmers, and dreamers are very, very deep now. This flash of brilliance, amazingly, occurred after a number of years of sanctions, prohibitions, and blockage of technology exchange or selling of chips by the US against China. This shows, sorry buddy, you can use all kinds of means thinking you can suppress China's further economic and technological development. It doesn't work. It actually accelerates China's own development in science and technology.